Hello, everybody. I hope you're doing really good, that you're healthy and joyful. I'm here to do Aries August Tarot 2025. I'll be using Major Arcana, Rider Smith, Osho's and Tarot, the Woman Oracle. I'll use Prism and I Am Shadow and Light for the decans. I'll use Les Amours de Marlowe for the love department. And I'll use Divine Connection at the end. All right, guys, let's do it. Aries. I hope you're doing really good, that you're having a great summer. Yeah. And let's check the energies. So I don't have the equipment to show you the cards this month, but I'll figure out something. So I'll show you the cards, but, most of them I'll try. Except for the one that are a little naked, because we cannot show any more cards that are very people sensitive. Yep. All right, so we'll check the energy of August and the recent past and the near future. We'll check consciously and unconsciously what's going on in yourself right now in August, Aries. And we'll check the challenges and the outcome with the Woman Oracle, and I'll do a clarification. And then I'll go through the decans, first, second, and third. If you do understand French or speak French, I do have a French channel. You can see the link in the About section. All right, Aries, let's do it. Nice! Your friend Venus, when I say friend, it's because it's linked to Taurus, and Venus and Mars are super duper BFF, okay? So lots of times when you have an Aries reading, it is complementary with Taurus and vice versa, or even sometimes it's the same. So here we go. All right, so let's see the vibes. So we have this Empress that is here on the vibe, but you have a 10 of Wands. And 10 of Wands, it's the end of an era. It's the end of something. And something that is really heavy, something that was very difficult, and that's why you want a new cycle. I'm trying to get without the light. There you go, sort of. And here it's very clear that you don't want mediocre anymore. You want something good. You want quality versus quantity. It's very clear to you here in August. And because we have Venus here, it is going to be very helpful. Okay? The combo Venus and Mars, like I said, is very complementary. All right, now let's check it out, the conscious and unconscious. So consciously, you want simplicity, you want the essentials, you don't need a castle, you don't need, it's quality again, okay? You might be living in a house that does look like shit from the outside, but when you come inside, it's like, whoa, So it's kind of like the vibe here, consciously. This is exactly what you want. And because it is with the Empress, that's it, Unconsciously, you have the Wheel of Fortune. So unconsciously, you are aware that you can absolutely, it's sort of like the Russian roulette, but it's also because of your experience. You know, it's like, okay, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this. Therefore, I can absolutely go somewhere, knock on doors, and give myself the luck to get something that I really want, that I'm passionate about. But it's because I had a lot of experience. So I can totally turn the negative to positive. I can just like, you know, do my thing and it will be just fine. So it's a lot of unconsciously, you know all your potential, let's say, but at the same time, it's wobbly, you know, like sometimes you feel secure, sometimes you're totally insecure, you know what I mean? It's not very, there's no equilibrium, you know. All right, the challenge and the outcome. Whoa. So your challenge is to start a brand new cycle. The challenge is actually to accept this and to do everything in your power to leave the past in the past and start brand new, fresh, you know what I mean? That's your challenge, guys. What? All right, you have the Five of Pentacles for the near future. Let's see what's up. Why you have that Five of Pentacles, first of all. Yeah, before I talk to you, I'll talk to you about the outcome. So, Five of Pentacles, you got to be careful with the Five of Pentacles here because it's sort of like not giving a F. And at the same time, you know that nothing is permanent in life. And that's why you have that Wheel of Fortune also in unconsciously. Unconsciously, I think you're just afraid of knowing that nothing is permanent in life, in general. And I think it kind of freaks you out, unconsciously. Okay. Maybe you have abandonment issues because, you know, your parents abandoned you, or one of the parents were not in the picture during your childhood, you know what I mean? Or they left when you were like 3.5 or something, you know? I kind of feel that vibe too. All right, Five of Pentacles. Let's see what's up. Why you have that Five of Pentacles? All right. Okay, wow. So, yeah, you have something that it drives you coconut. You can't fall asleep. It's all in here, and it just do the hamster wheel. Okay, so it's not that good, guys. Then you have the Fool that is looking at that and be like, okay, dude, you gotta take accountability for that type of behavior. And that Five of Pentacles is also, like I said, be careful with that Five of Pentacles, because if you know, close the door, slap a door and be like, well, I don't give a F, you know, and especially you're impulsive, kind of like try to figure out and think about your actions before you do something, okay? Okay, and understanding, well, understanding is also understanding what you do in general, and yeah. So now, the outcome is the fact that you need to be a little bit more vulnerable. Because I have the feeling that in August, you're kind of like carrying, you know, the emperor, carrying the emperor that is not going to show, that is vulnerable. And that would be cool to be vulnerable, dude. You know what I mean? Like, so do not forget that. It's not because you're showing vulnerability that you're not a man, or you're not a mom, or you're not, you know what I mean? And I think you have a little issue with that. Yeah. So you got to change that. All right. The Decans, guys. first, second, and third. And of course, it's not comfortable to try to change, to try to, you know, the evolution of what we want to do. It's not that comfortable. So, of course, it's a little scary, you know. But, hey, life is not comfortable, guys. If someone told you that life was comfortable, well, they lied to you, for sure. All right, first, second, and third. And then we'll do the love department. Aries, don't forget your magazine to download for the US. It's an astro magazine, but it's also a fiction. There's a few fiction in it. It is a magazine for the entire family. It's all about emotional work. It's all about therapy work also. Plus, you know, the sense of humor and astrology details with the sign. And, you know, Aries is your sign. So go check it out. The link is next to my picture on my channel. You click and then after you can do whatever you want. If you do want to have the magazine printed though and go in your mailbox, you will have to send me an email because there's no option for you to print it, okay? Just a digital for the US. But I can totally give you the opportunity to print it. All right, first decan. You are the only person who has control of your life. Don't mess around. Don't bend over backwards for fear of upsetting people just because you are you. And the flow. Yep. Well, you gotta go with the flow no matter what. And that's exactly what I was telling you earlier. It's because I think you're trying to control something, a situation, an outcome, but it's not the way to do it in August. Okay? You know, there's quite a few planets retrograde in August. So mid-July, mid-August is the time to chill. Okay, a lot of people, there's a lot of tension in the world and you know it, and it's not the time to just put another layer on that, right? Okay, second decan. So the more you'll go with the flow, the more you'll seek fluidity in your life, communication, relationships, connection, you'll be the winner. All right, second decan. Honesty is a virtue and keeping it is a privilege. Laughter is a firework that makes the heart explode into thousands of stars. And the light at the end of the tunnel. Well, you got to be honest with yourself, with what you want, with your core values, with, you know, a bunch of stuff, to be able to be like, okay, yeah. And then stop being too serious about things, because that's the issue too. So you got to add a little laughter. You got to add, you know, something that makes you vibe good. Third decan. I am here for you, but I will never influence your choices. If they call you weird or a failure, ignore them and keep on going. You are free, they are not. And yeah. So you got to work a little bit on self-esteem also, because I think I have the feeling that you have people around you that are critiquing you, judging you, and the look of other people on you, what they think is, I think it's too important for you here. So, you got to let it go. You got to work on your self-esteem. And maybe you had a dad or mom, they were very abusive verbally also. Okay? Humiliation, putting yourself down, you know, a bunch of stuff. So, and maybe you'll have a third energy, a higher power energy that is sort of here and sending you some signals, but you totally ignoring it for some XYZ reason. So I'm not telling you to be a hippie and like, you know, pray to the gods of the gods. No, I'm not telling you that. I'm just saying that sometimes you gotta observe, you gotta listen, you gotta, because there's some signs that you're totally not aware of it. Okay? All right, the love department. So the love, let's see, people that are in a relationship, Aries. Alors, people that are in a relationship, well, something is going to transform you. So it's either just you or it's the both of you. But something will transform your relationship and actually gives you hope regarding this relationship, because you are going to observe what's up, guys. So like I said, it could be Aries that just does that, so it's you, or the role can be reversed. Or it's maybe you, like let's say, just a very simple example. Let's say one of you have siblings, and every time you're in connection with them or they come over or something bothers you, you know? And you kind of like, whoa, you know, your brother Patrick, have you seen what he said? Da 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 da. I don't really like it, but it's not the first time he does it. Da 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 da. You know, and of course, it is a very difficult subject sometimes. But if you are in a very good relationship, solid and healthy, it will be just fine. And that's the type of thing that is going to happen. You know what I mean? You're going to react a certain way, you're going to observe, but then you are going to communicate to your loved ones, and you guys are going to be like, okay, yeah, well, no, I didn't really pay attention, but next time I will, and you know what I mean? So it's actually going to be a very constructive dialogue for you to have hope regarding your connection, regarding your marriage, and da-da-da-da-da-da, okay? All right, if you're single and happy. Let's see what's up. Alors, if you're single and happy. Okay. So if you're single and happy, maybe possibly you are going to meet somebody that kind of like, you know, you're having fun with this person, and I think you guys maybe text a little bit too much or call a little too much, you know, and it's sort of like a vibe in you. It sort of resonate, but at the same time, you also decided that you want to be single and happy. You know what I mean? Like no relationship, no attachment, da 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 da. So I think you might need to sort of like find a solution and make a choice regarding, you know, that type of situation. Because otherwise you might be lost or be not responsive and kind of like avoidant, guys. Okay? Yeah. All right, if you're looking for love. You're looking for love, Aries. Alors, if you're looking for love, well, if you're looking for love, you are going to try to harmonize and try to figure out really what you want, because I think you probably went on a few dates, maybe date someone, but at the same time, you have emotional trigger. So you're glued to the past with somebody else. So you got to work on that instead of like dwelling and, you know, and no, rehashing and all that stuff. So you got to work on knowing why you have those emotional triggers, but also tell yourself, well, this person is not my, you know, my old relationship. I have the feeling that it is because this person does this, but it's not. So that's why you're not ready at all, guys. You're not ready at all, and you should. I mean, you know, you could decide to really work on yourself first and try to figure out why you have those emotional triggers, because it's not comfortable for you either, you know? All right, divine connection. Here we go. Alors, divine connection. Wow. Okay. Yeah, see? You have to forgive yourself regarding something or someone. And, you know, at the beginning of the guidance, I was telling you about a father figure, a mother figure. I think you have to forgive somebody. And, you know, we are different generations. You cannot have grudges because you don't understand what your parents did and they lived in another generation, another era. You know what I mean? So you have to understand that too. And I know it's really tough, but sometimes it's like, okay, let's try to figure out why my mom got rid of me when she, you know, when I was a kid, for example. Why she did that. And then when you understand that, you're just like, ah, wow, okay, yeah, I didn't know those details, but now I kind of like, I can put myself in her shoes to try to figure out what happened, and then be like, ah, all right. You know, it's a work to do. And then, because look at your guidance. It's very powerful. It's you. It's just that this guidance is telling you also to work on your impulsivity and to work on being you, and at the same time understand a bunch of stuff in your life. To not be like, well, I don't give a F, and yeah, well, if I have to get rid of that, I will in 2 seconds. You know what I mean? That type of thing. And so you can't do that to yourself either, you know? And so you got to realize that you have the key in your pocket. You have the all the tools in the world. But are you going to decide? Yeah, that's the thing. All right, Aries, I hope that helps. And I wish you an amazing August. There's a lot of short videos. I am not gone. I'm still here on my channel, very much so. But, you know, I just do the monthly. So, yeah. And if you speak French or understand French, I have other readings over there. And it's absolutely not a copy and paste of this channel. I'll see you soon. Have a good month.